So you feel like you're obsessing over food. Like it's all you can think about, and instead of you being in control over the food, it feels like the food is controlling you. I get it because I've been there. In case you don't know who I am, my name is Sebastian Bedinker. I'm the world's leading binge eating recovery coach. I've helped hundreds of people fix their binge eating, lose a ton of weight, and overall just get in the best shape and health of their life. Right? So in today's video, I'm going to be telling you the three main reasons that I see in clients and people that I talk to about why they obsess over food, but not just the reasons, but how to actually fix them. I'm going to be giving you practical steps to actually overcome, these things. So the first reason that I see most people obsess over food is they simply don't have enough of it. And I know what you're thinking, Sebastian, I'm having a ton of food. I'm literally overeating and gaining weight every week. That's not what I mean, right? So what I mean is you probably just don't have a meal schedule, right? You don't have a routine, you don't have a plan. And so typically this is how most people's day go. They'll have something light for breakfast, if even breakfast. A lot of people will skip breakfast and they'll head to work, they'll head to school. Maybe they'll have a little snack, something that's not really food, maybe a bag of chips, maybe just fruit or something. And they'll go through their entire day and then they come home and have dinner, right? But they're still starving. And so they end up having all these cravings. They just obsess over food and overeat. And then you stay stuck in that vicious binge eating cycle. Okay, so how do we actually fix this? Well, what I would recommend is having a meal schedule. So 4 to 6 smaller sized meals. Okay, I'm not talking have McDonald's 4 times a week, but start to maybe meal prep. Start to have meals every 2 to 3 hours. And I would emphasize protein. Okay, if you don't have time because you're a busy person just like me, what you can do instead is just have a protein shake, some quick carbohydrates like some rice cakes. You can just pull them out of the pack, and you can have a fruit, have a banana, something like that, and that can actually count as one of your meals. But you want to have something in your stomach every 2 to 3 hours, right? Because what will happen is if you starve yourself all day or you barely have any food during the day, there's gonna come a time, let's say 6 p.m., 7 p.m., where you're just starving, right? And you eat dinner and it's not filling you up. It's because you haven't had food all throughout your day. So that's gonna end up in you overeating. So the best strategy that I could give you is just to start meal prepping, start making meals in advance, or just have a meal every 2 to 3 hours. All right. The second reason that I see people really obsessing over food is because they treat it like it's this amazing thing, like they attach this emotion to it, right? And I understand why. You look at all these big fast food companies, Burger King, McDonald's, Jack in the Box, Pizza Hut, and then the big ones like the soda companies, like the people who own Coke, the people who own, like, let's say, any type of soda, right? Their main goal is to get you addicted to their food. Why? So you can keep on buying. So they're putting all of these addictive ingredients and these ingredients in their foods and drinks that cause your dopamine levels to spike up, make you feel good in the moment, right? But after a few minutes, a few days, a few weeks, you realize, hey, maybe these foods aren't the best for me. Maybe these sodas aren't the best for me, right? Because I'm gaining weight, I feel slow, I feel lethargic, right? So you need to stop treating food, like putting it on this pedestal. Stop treating it like an orgasm, right? Like it's the best thing in the world. The way you need to start thinking about food is that it's literally just fuel. Okay, food is meant to nourish you, to make you thrive, to make you feel good so you can conquer the day. And once you start to think about food like that, it's going to be a game changer. It literally changed everything for me. Because what you'll do is before you put something in your mouth, you'll ask yourself, how is this going to make me feel? Is this going to be conducive towards my goals? Is it going to help me achieve my goals? Is it going to make me feel good? Or am I just doing it because it tastes good? Because it's going to spike my dopamine, right? So before you eat, start to ask yourself those questions. Start to have more of a purpose when you eat, and that's going to help you stop obsessing over chasing that next high, that fast food high, that junk food high, that chip high, right? Start to look at food as what it is. It is just fuel. Okay, it's not going to make or break you. You need food. Understand that as well, right? Stop thinking food is the enemy, right? There's no such thing as good food or bad food. All food is the same, right? Of course, there's foods that are healthier for you, but food is literally just fuel. And when you think of it like that, you don't attach emotion to it. right? And you don't think of food as bad, which creates an unhealthy relationship with it. Now, the final reason that I see people really obsessing over food is because they're using it as a coping mechanism. And this is actually one of the main reasons that I see people obsessing over food, and it's what a lot of my binge eating videos are about, right? You're using food as a coping mechanism. Let's say you had a stressful week at work. Maybe, you had a lot of work piled up on you, or maybe you're in school and college and you have finals coming up or midterms. Listen, whatever the case may be, maybe you had an argument with your spouse, right? And so the first thing that most people will look for is, okay, I'm home, let me open up the pantry, see what I can stuff my face with, what I can eat to make me feel better. But the truth is, guys, it's not making you feel better. Like I mentioned in the last point, it's just spiking up your dopamine so you think that it's good for you, but it's not. Okay, so what you can do for this is find healthier coping mechanisms. Now, this is going to be very person dependent, right? And this is what I work with one-on-one with a lot of my clients to help them figure out. But you can look at old hobbies that you used to do, that maybe you haven't done in a while. Maybe, like I know for me, I got back into MMA. I love doing MMA, jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai. Maybe for you, it's soccer. I worked with a professional ice skater, so I told her, hey, maybe you could start ice skating again. Look for things that you may have done in the past that really helped you feel good. Maybe even when you were a kid and you haven't done it in a while, maybe you can start there, right? Or you can look for new hobbies. Maybe you can go on a walk, with your friends at the park. Maybe you can go swimming at the beach. Maybe you can just do something with your friends that doesn't necessarily involve food. Maybe you can, there's just so many things that you can do, right? And that you can figure out for yourself, because like I said, this is very person dependent. But you want to start looking for those healthier coping mechanisms, because food is not a coping mechanism, guys. It is not meant to kind of numb your feelings, right? We need to understand that the main reason we overeat or binge eat is because we're using it to deal with our emotions. Underneath everything, that's the main reason people binge eat, because we're using it to cope with whether it's our emotions of feeling stressed, of feeling bored, of restriction, right? I talk about that in a lot of my other videos. So what you need instead to do is sit with your feelings, meditate, yoga, right? The reason that we feel things is because our body is trying to tell us something. If you feel stressed from work or from school, it's your body's way of telling you, okay, we need to figure out this problem. Okay, maybe we need to study for this test. Okay, maybe we need to finish up this work or these papers for my boss, right? It's your body's way of telling you, hey, something's wrong. We need to get this figured out. So the best way to deal with that is to actually sit with your feelings and figure out what you can do from there that doesn't involve, just numbing your emotions, whether that's with food. Some people will numb their emotions with drugs, with alcohol, right? So that's the best thing that you can do for yourself if you deal with food obsession, when it comes to if you're using food as a coping mechanism for emotions, okay? So listen, guys, I know this was a quick, kind of raw, unedited video, but if you guys, need help one-on-one with your binge eating, with building healthier food habits, with losing weight, you can definitely apply to work with me using the first link in the description. It's just my website, sebastianbedeker.com, and I will help you one-on-one to help you fix your binge eating and lose weight. And if you guys, you don't have to obviously apply for coaching. I also have an entire playlist that's dedicated to help you fix your binge eating and lose weight, so you can check that out as well. Tons of free videos on my channel. If you're new here, definitely make sure to subscribe, and I really hope this helped you out. I'm here if you guys need anything.